730 total active units on the market for sale here in Santa Clarita Valley, and that's gone up from about 500 in January of this year. Now we're in the middle of June 2026, and this is your real estate update. Real estate buyers right now are throwing a lot of caution out there when it comes to purchasing real estate, even looking for real estate, because the news is telling everybody, that the interest rates are very high, and historically, they're not, but if you look at the historical comparison that people often make, they're quoting back in the 70s interest rates of 16, 70%. But the house prices back there were a lot less than they are now. Earnings were a lot less than they are now. So really, what is that good timing for any real estate buyer? It's going to definitely depend on their financial ability and what type of income they have, and their current level of debt to income. How much debt do you have versus how much income you have? Now, the best people to really talk you off of this ledge are going to be real estate lenders. Just a quick word about real estate lenders. There are different types out there, of course. There are some that work for main banks. You might see them when you go into your Bank of America branch, your Chase branch, or your credit union branch. They're going to be all over. There's going to have all these pretty photographs of happy people smiling as they're getting handed the keys, and it's all just a lovely world to be in. But then from those you have mortgage brokers. Now, mortgage brokers, a little bit different animal. When I was growing up, my dad would never have gone to a broker of any type. Insurance broker, mortgage broker, automotive broker, never would have. He would have gone directly to the source because in his mind, that's where you got the best deals. That's really not the case anymore. Everybody is hunting for your attention. So some time ago, people came out with this business model stating, well, if we could purchase loans or sell loans from different suppliers, then that would be better for the consumer. And looks like it actually did. But with those, it's maybe not as locked into credit profiles, what the requirements to purchase real estate. Because when you go to just a singular entity, they have to ascribe to a certain set of rules, and not that breaking these rules is bad, but there are some that are a little bit more liberal in application of the rules. So when you go to a mortgage broker, they might have 50 different people that will loan you money to purchase a residence, and of those 50, maybe 10 of them actually fit pretty well, and maybe one or two of them are really, really good for you because you'll be getting the best deal, best interest rate, best terms, best cost to get the loan, and so on. And then in addition, the type of residence you purchase might require a particular type of loan. There might be some lenders that can't, like an FHA or a VA might exclude particular properties from being allowed to be financed on by those loan types. Now, that doesn't mean everything is horrible and you're not going to be able to buy. There are other types of products out there that aren't FHA and VA that might have the same nimbility, anyway, the same ability, but a little bit more nimble in its application to be able to have you purchase those residences. Now, when you do interview lenders, they're going to give you a net sheet, hopefully something that kind of shows what it's going to cost. Real estate agents, we do that as well. If you're coming to us to purchase real estate or sell real estate, you're going to see commission. Well, lenders have a lot of different words for commission, the way they make money on the loan, so make sure you ask them to be upfront about what they're charging, because at the end of the day, while cost isn't always as important as value, which is very, very true, hiring that right one, being overcharged for something that you can get equally as good value somewhere else really is kind of something that you want to investigate. So you want to find out what those charges are on the real estate end and the lending end. But once you sit down with these people, you'll actually see their true value by the way that they speak with you, by the way that they listen more, by the way that they shut the hell up and give you a moment to express your thoughts. And then maybe the other biggest part of this is whenever they're answering you or they're offering opinion or telling you experiences they've had in the past, real experiences with other clients that might be in your same wheelhouse, them offering those stories to you as proof of service, of ability. Because a lot of cases, the biggest credit an agent or a lender can take would be to talk about the last time they killed a deal, the last time their advice to their buyer, the person they were representative, and on the real estate side, you have either a seller or a buyer relationship, but the last time they said, this probably isn't good for you. This might not be the best thing. Maybe we should wait. Maybe we should hold off. Maybe we should look elsewhere for something that fits your needs better. that is a wonderful place to maybe begin when you start the interview process, be it with real estate agents or lenders or whomever else you're going to be hiring in the process of real estate. The other thing, make sure that you know your all-in cost. A lot of people, when they're selling real estate, you see the sticker price on the house, like on a car. That's the price that's on the MLS, and maybe that's high, maybe that's low. If you look at the syndication sites to try to reinforce or try to validate that particular price, you might be running into issues because, well, the syndication sites, that algorithm, that program running in the background that's spitting out what properties are worth depending on what address, what city, it's built around an idea. The idea is getting you to do something, getting you to maybe emotionally connect in some way, and then taking it to that next step, which would be giving up your personal and private information into the syndication site so they can then share and sell your information to a real estate agent. I know, it's the way of the world. That seems to be the way things are going. The other way to maybe do this is to ask that consummate real estate professional what they believe the value of the property is. And then instead of them just spitting it out and giving you a number, say, yeah, it's priced correctly, or it's priced too high, it's priced too low, give you the data so you can verify. What should you be looking for? Well, if you're buying in Cincinnati, you don't want to see properties in Florida. If you're buying in Santa Clarita Valley, you don't want to see properties in the San Fernando Valley being used to establish that listing price because you might be making an offer. Same thing with sellers. If you're looking at putting your property on the market and you start to look at the syndication sites for an explanation of value or a value proposition, you don't want to use properties that they're comparing it to that are in cities that are even in different zip codes. You want to stick familiar. You want to stay in the area. Now, if you can get it within the same tract, the same housing community, the same builder community, then you're golden. And then with that, you want to try to get as close to you can as the same year built. Then there's no argument. You got 3 or 5 of those properties that are spot on model matches to your property, the one that you're evaluating to get the price of. Same thing on the buyer end of it. They have 3 or 4 or 5 properties that have closed in the last 180 days or even less. 90 days is even better, but 180 days, that's kind of the max of an appraiser's valuation. But once you see those numbers, then you can say, okay, yeah, they're priced where they need to be, and this is going to be my strategy. Now, the next thing, your strategy, the making the offer strategy, that's going to depend on the market. Are actual properties selling out at their listing price when the listing price is accurate? Then you need to make determinations. Is the market going up, or is the market coming down, or is the market static? You'll see that by the days on market it takes, the time frame it takes for properties to sell. So there's not a lot to it, but having somebody that's going to guide you down the right path and not try to distract you with bullshit is going to be very important. Now, if you're looking for that qualified agent, my pitch is really nothing. I put out these educational videos to help. I won't represent buyers. I don't represent buyers. I'm a sellers only agent, sellersonlyagent.com. But if you're looking for a buyer's agent, I have very qualified people that I know in the real estate realm whom would pay me a referral fee if you ask me for their information and let me pass on yours. So that's completely transparent. On the seller side of it, I decided to do that because I wasn't a big fan of dual agency. While dual agency, an agent representing both the seller and the buyer's legal in California, me, personally, it's just not my thing. And I did it for 21 years of the 28 years I've been in real estate, but just not my thing anymore. So sellers only on this end of it. That way there's no conflict of interest at any level. And the real estate buyers go and they have their own agent. Then me and the other agent get to work it out. We work it out the way professionals work things out in the best benefit for the client, because the client really does have the right to sell their house. The other types of clients have the right to buy the house, and they should be able to do it with all the information they can find, all the information that can be conveyed, while agreeing with whatever rules make sense to both sides, whatever conditions and agreements, all of those things being incredibly transparent, put on the top so everybody can see it and understand it. And if things need to be delved into, if more time needs to be taken to be able to make a good decision, then they should be able to be afforded that as well. But there's a way to do that. It's not on a handshake, it's on an official document, an extension of time addendum. These are all parts of the real estate process, and if you have somebody good that you're working with, they're able to explain these parts to you, you're going to go in and you're going to be fine through the process. Now understand, people, sellers and buyers, have all come from different backgrounds. So a seller from a particular background might look to a buyer from a particular background as somebody that's trying to delay things or trying to cause problems or somebody that's not budging at all. Sellers see that in buyers as well. Understand this. This should not be an emotional experience for you. This is a money thing. This is a decision made because it's either going to be it's a financially responsible decision, or it's going to put you in a better place in your world, whatever that happens to be. But to get emotionally drawn in and have these issues and obstacles and look at them as an emotional thing, it shouldn't be. Try to keep yourself separated from the emotional component. Of course, you're going to see it, you're going to love it, you're going to hang the mental curtains as a buyer. The seller's going to have their own opinion of what their future looks like by offloading the property, using that money to maybe buy their next one or vacation or pay off bills or pay for that surgery they've needed to maybe survive. There's a lot of factors here. Just don't be too emotionally driven with it. That's where a good real estate buyer's agent or a good real estate seller's agent can protect you from it, as long as they're not tied to their commissions so much that they forget to say things or purposely forget to say things, which is horrible. I'm Connor with Honor. If you want to see more about me, sellersonlyagent.com. This has been somewhat of a real estate update, but more of an educational process, and I hope it serves you well. We'll see you in the next one. I got some work to do. You take care. Be well and be safe out there.